Oh, hi. Welcome to Maine. Rainy Maine. Very rainy, rather chilly. Not a great night for retro sailing, but rather chilly. Not a great night for retro sailing. Let me mute this stupid phone. Haha. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Right. So anyway, here I am at work. I mean, this is rather dull and boring. I don't know if anybody wants to join this thing or if anybody's even watching, but I thought I'd just show YouTube. The YouTubes, what a sailmaker's tours involve from time to time here at Gulf of Maine. What I'm doing at the moment is sewing these little suckers to the luff, which is the leading edge. This mainsail for an Erickson 30. Lovely boat, very classic. By classic, I mean like, 70s-ish. Fiberglass sloop. It's a newer sail, but guy had a bit of a mishap in his boatyard. His boatyard managed to, while stepping his mast, managed to forget a little something, and the mast fell down. So decided to take the opportunity to do a little bit of an upgrade. First of all, the new mast, and told insurance and whatnot. And the new mast has a different slide system than what he was used to. By the way, if anybody's, let me know if there's any issues with sound or vision or anything. I mean, I'm broadcasting this thing on an iPad, which was my go-to for the longest time before I discovered that my crappy old computer could actually handle some of this crazy StreamYard stuff. I could speak to the world, get my shitty opinions out in front of people. Yeah. So my palm back in there. Good. Yeah. Probably won't be doing this. We won't be in this stream too long. If anybody out there, is anybody out there? Anybody watching this thing? Probably not. It was pretty funny on the after party stream on last night after, or was it last night? I don't even remember. It all runs together. Sunday night. Bad science, my thing. We did a little after party over here. A bunch of people showed up. I made a joke about how sailmaking wrecks your knees. Sailing wrecks your knees. Everything wrecks your knees. Jesus Christ, did I do that right? Yes, I did. Hey, Brian, how are you? Somebody's here. Yeah. Sad. What I said was making sales wrecks your knees. Everybody thought I was talking about SALES, and it's like, well, maybe making sails, reps your knees in other ways, the SALES. But here at the sail loft, your knees literally get physically damaged because you need to go. Well, let's just turn this thing around here. There we go. You can see down on the floor, big sail, big floor. You got to crawl around on the floor to work on these things, and that can cause some problems. Anyway, over time, of course. I've been doing this for a very long time. Super long time. Crazy long time. Yeah, roofing will wreck your knees. I had a friend who did that for years and years and years. Doesn't matter what you do. Put the knee pads on, put all the stuff. You know, the most dangerous profession. You don't want to have a bunch of twisties in this yarn, this thread, because it looks like shit. It's not as good, so gotta straighten that out. The most dangerous profession, as far as I understand anyway, in the world, is forestry, lumber. Second place, fishing industry. Now, here in the great state of Maine, two of our biggest industries, bring fishing. So yeah, it's funny this YouTube community, how many. I suppose it's natural, if it does involve computers and whatnot, all that stuff. So many people are into the tech thing. And here I am, hand sewing. So if I'm just geeking out on soldering iron is for melting things. Very key. It's not soldering. It's a hot knife instead of a pointed tip for solder. It's got a flat blade for cutting thread, for cutting fabric, for sealing the edge of, for example, you wanted to make sure that you're not going to have the cloth fray, you can kind of do that and melts the edge of the fabric so that it doesn't fray quite so quick. And also, okay, I already cut that. You'll see. Pay attention. Yeah. What else I gotta do to this sail? I gotta put new telltales on the leech after I get done putting these things on. Just so I can tell what the wind's doing to it. Oops. That won't be all that great. No, no, Jay, my rigger friend. This is polyester. This is polyester fabric, woven polyester fabric. Sails are made out of all sorts of crazy stuff. probably most commonly woven polyester, but high performance racing sails are made out of fabrics that are either layups or composites, laminates, or a whole bunch of stuff. Carbon fiber, spectra. Not so much Kevlar anymore because Kevlar deteriorates under UV. Well, polyester does as well, but not anywhere near as quickly or as badly. Kevlar is great because it holds its strength, but when the strength goes, it's the fuck I do with it. There it is. Polyester for ordinary use, in, say cruising or something like that, where aerodynamics and ideal, optimal aerodynamic shape is not as critical as it is in a racing situation where you're looking for the best performance from your equipment. Um, Polyester sail will last a good 12 years or so before it becomes, well, it'll last longer, but it'll get really shitty in terms of, just boat will go sideways and the sun gets at it, just nothing less, nothing less. But it doesn't matter because they're stupid things are so expensive that people go, well, how come the sale isn't lasting forever? It's like, well, and how often do you replace your jeans? It's only fabric. Yeah, I missed. Aesthetics are important, even if important to me anyway. I hate to see something that look like shit, even if the person using this thing will never notice. Just bugs me. Things are laid up as if nobody gave a crap. Once more into the breach. How many was it? How many? How many rode into the breach? Once more into the breach rode the 1,000? Poly Kevlar blend. Yeah, yeah. Kevlar. Probably not much Kevlar, I wouldn't think for. Again, Kevlar when it turns brittle is really funny. It just blows up. Just loses all of its tensile strength entirely and just go boom. Your load. Not good. Not the best. So here you go. Cutting this polyester webbing. Oops. Cut. Seals the end, see. It gets sealed up there so it doesn't fray. Ugh. This is a sewing palm. This is actually what's called a seaming palm. It's open thumb, so you can just sort of do stuff. It's got a thimble here, thimble there. That the oh, this is the thing. I always put the needle down. I forget where I put it, but so you can hold the. Oops. You can place the head of the needle into the thimble, so you can push hard without driving the head with the needle into your palm. Now, that's happened, and it's not pleasant. Yeah, it's not pleasant. The other, I have this is my favorite palm. It fits really nicely in all of this. I have an older one here, but you can see if you look carefully there. You see these two holes at the top. The two holes at the top is where somebody, probably me, I don't know, missed capping it into the metal thimble that's here and drove it into the rawhide of the palm. And if you do it too hard, it will in fact drive the head of the needle all the way through the palm and into your palm, which sucks because usually you are exerting huge amounts of force in order to get the needle to go through the fabric. And as a consequence, if the palm fails, all of that force goes into your hand. The other thing that's not recommended at all is picking up the hot knife on the business end. That's not good. That's never a good thing. That's happened. I'm talking about sailmaking disasters. Where do you get one of these? Uh, Marine supply stores, like West Marine or um, uh, they generally sell these. Uh, they'll they'll have sewing palms. It's rather the good ones you get from specialty suppliers like Challenge Sailcloth, Bainbridge Aquabatten. Oh, where am I? That apply to the trade. I was saying earlier, I don't know if rigger left a small section of track open on the mast so that the owner can put these guys in. But this is very specialized track. There are these wheels on the side. The track, this goes in to the track and it captures it. And these guys provide um, rolling so that the compression doesn't the things don't wind up getting stuck. So nothing binds up. It's a rather neat system. It ain't cheap either. I forget what these things cost. They're ridiculously expensive. All these, what's the thing? Is like all these little specialized doohickeys that go on boats. Yeah, you can get a boat for not much money, but all the little doohickeys, like sails and whatnot, they don't, they don't No cost you. So anyway, after all of this, I get to go sailboat racing tonight in the fucking rain and fucking, what is it? I don't know what it is right now. 58 degrees outside. Ridiculous. It's fucking June. Race. Oh well. I'm too old for all of this stuff. But here's the thing. I can still do it. So I recommend the sport. It's something you can do forever as long as you keep in relatively decent shape. I mean, if you all you do is drive, you don't have to. It's always better to be in good shape, but I don't usually drive, although I do sometimes. Rather like it. Also rather good at it, but which I never really knew because my whole thing is, uh, if you're good at trimming sails or good at the physical task of manipulating the boat around, like work act and you know helping the boat go from side to side, do it. Plus, which the sport is traditionally very, let's just say, something for the boys. The old things about bad women being bad luck on the boat. That's yet another manifestation of the fucking patriarchy. When, in point of fact, um, in sailing, so in the sport of sailing, in the sport of sailboat racing, according to a study that we did of success in the collegiate aspects of the sport. In college, the equipment used are two-person dinghies. They're called 420s, or also um, FJs, flying juniors. Anyway, it's always been pretty much a co-ed sport, except there has been women's stuff. But in a study of the co-ed stuff that we did from college collegiate results 2016 to 19, 16, 17, 19, yeah. Going through the results, we discovered there's no advantage to having a guy on the boat. In fact, women's teams were just a little bit better in terms of scoreboard than guys. And as a matter of fact, this year the United States uh, collegiate championships, which were held at Kings Point National U.S. Maritime Academy at Kings Point, New York. U.S. Maritime Academy. The Stanford team uh, really swept. They won the team racing nationals, and they won the fleet racing nationals, and I think they won the women's too. and there are only two guys on the whole team, which is just so fucking inspirational. It made me so happy. Yeah, that's right. It's really sailing's really, really equipment dependent, but the game itself is not. The game itself, the boats, the equipment, various pieces of equipment demand various levels of physical strength, but it's mostly agility and timing in the sport. So it's very non-gender specific, which, I've spent a fair amount of time dealing with that because sailing is an Olympic sport. William, how are you? I think we all have to get that money, don't we, somehow? But anyway, since sailing's an Olympic sport, and since the International Olympic Committee reckoned that we had to come up with a policy for gendered participation in our sport, we have to figure out that great, thorny, what do you do with trans people in the sport of sailing? I don't know what we did with trans people in the sport of sailing. We were bound by the rules of the IOC for years and years and years, which is to say, you meet a certain level of testosterone in your bloodstream. It's kind of changed whether you had physical alterations or this, that, and the other stuff. Uh, it's been all over the place. But anyway, the rules were uh, like for every other sport, few levels. And again, since sailing is pretty much so it's pretty uh, like very um, equipment reliant. And there are other sports like it, but anyway, God damn it, I did it again. Oh, yeah, that's right. I ran out of thread. Um, anyway, we had to figure out the stuff, and we haven't really. U.S. Sailing hasn't come up with a policy yet because, and really, we've gone more towards co-ed events. 470 in the Olympics used to be a men's only, and now I think the only two events, the only two disciplines that are gender segregated in the Olympics. I think there's only one. It's like single person dinghy. And the women's sail, there are two. Yeah, no, it's single person dinghy. That's right. And single person dinghy, and I think the women's sail lays Ilka radials, and the men's sail Ilka standard rigs. The only difference between them is the rig, and you can't really, it, a heavier woman would couldn't be competitive. When I say heavier, it's like anybody who weighs a hell of a lot more than 140 pounds is kind of out. Even 140 is a little bit pushing it for the radials. And I think that also there are 29ers and 49ers 49ers for guys and 29ers for girls. But and those things are pretty exciting. They'll plane upwind. They're really cool. See, I don't know. It probably uh, my ramblings here. It's a little more pleasant, I think, to ramble about stuff you enjoy than stuff that pisses you off. Although there's plenty to be pissed off about. We got another 10 minutes before the former guy says, "How you plead?" Gets that question thrown at him, and his lawyers go, "Not guilty, Your Honor." I don't know, some kind of fucking thing like that. It's a good thing, I don't know. It's like it'd be kind of fun if Trump would just sort of go, "Not guilty, Your Honor, and by the way, it's a witch hunt, and I hate you and your family and everybody else, and don't forget who appointed you and all that other crap." It'd be really great. All right, what are we talking about? The smell of the ocean. Oh yeah, well, it was the smell of the ocean. Yeah, right. Well, back in the day in Portland, Maine. Also, when I say the day, I'm talking about the mid 70s or so, mid to late 70s, which was kind of before environmental protection stuff that really kicked in. Thanks to our late Senator Ed Muskie, God rest his soul. Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act. What a guy. Anyway, in South Portland, which is basically to the southeast of Portland, Maine itself. There was a rendering plant called Pine State Byproducts, wherein all of the chicken shit, or a fair amount of chicken shit, and fish offal and that sort of thing, got processed into fertilizer. And if the wind was in the southeast, it cast a particular stench over the city of Portland. And to our west, there was a paper mill in Westbrook. So to our northwest. So if it was, so both prevailing wind directions, you'd either get the stench of a paper mill or the stench of offal. Hey, I finished all these slides. It's cool. And our tourists, it's Maine, so it's kind of a touristy place. So tourists would show up and go, "Is that the smell of the ocean?" No, it's not. But thanks for playing. All right, so that's done. I guess it's telltale time. I should cut some telltales. What are telltales, you may ask? I know there's rustling of sails. Yeah. God, yeah. What are well, I'm leaving you all in the dark here. What am I doing? Wow, what's she doing? Oh, she's moving this goddamn sail. All right, these guys, these guys are telltales. They're internal telltales, but this is a mainsail, and these things aren't really anywhere near as critical as the ones on the trailing edge of the sail is what's called the leech of the sail. There's, the ones on the trailing edge of the sail, boy, this is interesting how they did these. I've never seen them done that way before. Interesting. Um, you That's the best way to explain it. We're talking about sails are basically wings. They're supposed to be aerodynamic. So you want to be able to see how you want to be able to see if the breeze is coming off the trailing edge cleanly. You don't want to have stall back there. It's just like stalling an airplane. Uh, you don't want to have you don't want to have the thing stalling because that means you're not getting the most out of the foil. So you want to be able to trim it so that you can get more out of the foil. So how do you know that? Well, know that by having little pieces of nylon on the back of the sail to see where things are going, see how the air is flowing. Don't I have a pen? Shit. Well, save it for later. So we need some telltales. Christ, get out of here. I don't think they appear to be incredibly wet. Um, mhm. Let's see this. Okay, what am I doing? Somebody's saying, what am I doing? This is what I'm doing. I am going to hot knife, hot knife along this piece of tile to cut the heat, to cut this nylon so that when we do put this thing on the back of the sail, it won't instantly fray all the fuck apart like the ones that are on there that have been on there for quite a long time. I've run out of telltale, so I'm gonna just sort of want some more. Where I do this, like it's always a good idea to cut more than you need. That way, you don't have to do this every single effing time. I'm sorry if I haven't been really paying attention. I don't know if anybody wanted to jump in here. Sort of just going, just going. So ugly out. You can hear the rain coming down on the roof. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh no. And I'm remembering last week when it was blowing really hard. At least the weather was nice. This week, not so much. I hope we have everybody. You sail the Etchels with 4 people. You can do it with 3, but I don't get to do much except tell people where to go. I'm the tactician. I'm the tactician, and I hike out and I fly the spinnaker. Oh yeah, I fly the spinnaker downwind. Spinnaker trimmer. Last week, damn. Last week in the Etchels and the J24, we won both races, which was fine. It was good. But last week, doing really, really well. We wound up third for the evening. But we were doing really, really well in this one race, going on the last downwind leg, and I was really working so hard to get the. We had a situation where there was a boat inside of us going into marks. If here's a mark, you're going to leave the mark on this side, and the boats that are inside of you are allowed room if you're overlapped. If like they're here and you're here, this boat has right of way. So unless you can break the overlap before you're 3 boat lengths from the mark, and I was working so hard to break the overlap going downwind, and we did it. We managed to get through, and at about 5 boat lengths from the mark. And again, as I said, it was 3 boat lengths is where that rule comes into effect. It's Rule 18 for those of you who want to look it up in the Racing Rules of Sailing. So, and so we're like 5 boat lengths. So, all right, let's get the kite down. We get the spinnaker down. We get the jib up. We get the spinnaker down. Everything's good. All we got to do is have a nice tight rounding and cover to the finish line. Well, something happened. I don't know what, but I'm there trying to stuff the spinnaker down into its little hidey hole, and I hear the skipper is extremely frustrated. I look back, our mainsail trimmer is like futzing with the fact that the main sheet had gotten itself all tangled up around stuff, so we couldn't sheet the mainsail in. So that meant that the boat that we had just dusted off went trooping on by us. which was extremely disappointing. Andrew's the skipper has a tendency to get really depressed when shit like that happens, and it's like, Andrew, it's a stupid game. Don't get mad. Yes, it's disappointing, but it's a stupid game. There's always next week. Oh, hot that part. Damn it. Hmm. These suckers don't need. Uh, wonder what stupid games does everybody here play? Anybody else? There's stupid games out there you're very fond of, like bocce or something. I mean, I don't know. What I'm coming up for. You really don't need four mainsail. Like the top three battens are the ones that really matter. But anyway, all right. Now a little relocation here. Portable movie studio. Hello. Dido. Set. Is that for a view? Yes, there we go. There's a view. This got four on it. Yes, it does. I know. This guy had two sails. He's got this old crappy. He's got another old. He's got an old crappy sail. Why he wants to bother? But, and I discovered that I had the wrong hardware. So I fix that one. Need it anyway. It should be using this thing. The one I'm fixing. Way more better. Way more better. Shit. All right. Hey Brian, thanks for coming. Like I said, I haven't been paying sharp enough attention to the chat, but I really appreciate you guys coming by. I don't even know if this even matters, but kind of fun. It's better than talking about atheism all the time, I think. A little bit anyway. Double stick tape, very handy. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna do this and then get that already. Dealing with the elements. I really hope they don't go out tonight. Just so shitty out. I don't think there's going to be much wind, which is the other thing. If it's blowing, it's fine. I suppose it's just uncomfortable, but there's no wind, and we're just going to sit drifting around. It's not much fun. Worse if it's not blowing. And they start a race. It's not going to be fair. Anyway. Stupid. You can't race sailboats when there's no wind. People dispute that, sadly. But maybe I'll get to the. I have enough time. I think I'll play this thing. Okay. Interesting. Ox, how are you? Brian's been here since forever. Pragmatic. Nice to see you. Will is here. I feel like I need to do something controversial, but I can't think of something. So stupid. Jesus Christ, talk about overkill. More sea stories. Done and done. Oh, tack. It says tack there. That is the forward bottom corner of the sail is the tack. The aft bottom corner of the sail is the clew. The top corner of the sail is the head. Need two awls. And, wait a minute. The original sailmaker mislabeled the corners. This is so funny. Oh my fucking word. That's so hysterical. Yeah, this is the luff of the sail. It's the thing that attaches to the mast. I spent my entire life just putting these freaking things on. And they put a clue on this thing. What the fuck? I wonder how ill-informed the owner is at this point. I think we'll have to, maybe we'll rearrange these labels. Oh my God. Unbelievable. The clue tack. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the one. So stupid. I wonder what's at the head of the sail. Like throat? Too funny. Nautical mishaps. Grab that thing down by the tack, but it says clue. But I mean tack. Yeah, but it says clue. Yeah, well, you know, I don't know the fuck. Too funny. Sorry, sailmaker's humor. I think it's funny, therefore it's funny. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's all about me. Right. Now is a demonstration of why you wreck your knees when making sails. But it's easier to flake a sail, which is to say, fold the sail up with two people than with one. But I have my flaking clamp buddy here. Anybody ever wants to talk to me about keep me bends? I should not do because I do a lot. Small detail, but if anybody does get into boating, I always like to have the forward edge of the sail flaked up together because that's the edge that's going to get attached to something. And if it's all sitting there in one place, it makes it easier to get it to go up smoothly. And plus, it's pretty much impossible to flake a sail by yourself utilizing this technique. Versus if the sail had battens in it, you wouldn't be able to do this very effectively at all. So if it doesn't, not worry about it. All right. Naturally. You really wouldn't believe that I ripped my left ACL apart 4 years ago, which I still amazed. So is my orthopedic surgeon. How did you do that? I worked hard. I say that means no doubt I'll have permanently disabling injury at night on the race course. How did I do it, you say? I fell down the companion of a J24 because I was stupid and didn't look where I was going. And went down forwards and ended up backwards and with my leg in a vice, kind of. It was just, oh, I yelled a lot. I felt it pop. I was like, oh, just say head. See? Look at that. Head. At least they got that right. At least they got the head right. Jesus. Talk about bizarre. All right. Let me get this folded up. This little bundle. Oh, look, it was made in Sri Lanka. No wonder. Red tack glue. I don't know. What is that? What is it? Wait, it was made in Sri Lanka. Okay, kids. Thanks for coming. If you enjoyed this sort of thing, or even if you don't, well, if you don't, then you're not here anymore, or you haven't made it. Anybody who made it through the end, I appreciate your patience. But yeah, if you enjoy this sort of thing, I don't always show off the old sailmaking stuff or even talk about sailing a bunch, but it is more fun sometimes. I don't know, arguing the finer points of fascism or misogyny or trans misogyny or this, that, and the other thing, or atheism, theism. Sometimes it's just life, you know? Sometimes you just gotta go and do it. But I've been on here for what, an hour and 12 minutes, and now it's time to get ready to get out in the cold and wet. And I'll let you know how it went uh, last night. But anyway, if you like it, like, subscribe, all that stuff, my contact stuff, I think is or will be in the header anyway. Like, subscribe, send your friends. The channel's been growing a little bit here and there. Just I don't know why, but it's just kind of fun. And I'll see you all in the funny papers here, there, and everywhere. Goodbye from the shores of beautiful Casco Bay, Maine. And come on up for Lobster Dear. Talk to you soon. Bye.